Going on, guys? How was everyone's Thanksgiving and weekend? What's up, Brandon? What's up, Matt? Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys. How was everyone's weekend? Just give it a minute or two for everyone to get in here. Ate all the pies. That's so funny. Just flew back home. Where'd you fly in from? Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I got a little cold, which is why I sound all congested. But hopefully, I'll be good this week. Flight's going bullish. I'm looking at QQQs right now. I know the screen's on starting soon. I'm gonna give it one more minute. But it looks pretty good. Um, okay, let's put on the live scene. COVID, don't have COVID. I got tested negative yesterday. So, any questions you guys have before I get started? As you know, I like to answer questions instead of just going through what I think you want to see. I'd rather answer what you guys want to hear or see. Nashville, I'm going there New Year's Eve. How'd you like Nashville? So here's the small caps IWM, right? We've tested this level multiple times, right? We ran through here, but buyers bought in every single time. One, two, three. And we bounced off of it perfectly. So we can't really make a judgment call yet because we did have that steep sell off because of the COVID news. So we really just need to wait to see what happens tomorrow and how the market reacts to the news. Yeah, so overall market sentiment after Friday, I think it's an overreaction. We've had two or three different COVID variants, and futures are up. Yeah, Chris just said futures are up 1%. So I think it's just an overreaction, right? We already have the vaccines. Um, we're being everyone's being cautious. I know in New York City you have to show your vaccine proof everywhere you go. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but boosters are coming out. If you support the booster movement, go ahead. But I think it's an overreaction. We've been around the block over a year and a half now with COVID, so I think everyone's pretty used to it. But looking at the charts, I think we need to see what happens tomorrow at open. I know futures are up, so we'll see what happens. But I'm bullish, still bullish. That's IWM, QQQ, right? Still in an overall uptrend, right? This is just we barely even took a dip. If we take a look at the daily, It's still in an overall uptrend, so nothing really to worry about there. But if we go into the smaller time frame, we have a perfect flag here, right? Perfect ABC correction, right? So we have one bottom here, which is we're going to need this to hold 387.53. But we do have a perfect wedge, right? We're starting to get some tighter price action. We have an ABC correction. I'm looking for, this level to hold 387.53. If this level can hold, probably a little fake out below this pink trend line, bounce off, and a move back to the upside and a breakout here. That would be a perfect play. Whoops, I'm going to extend this level here just in case we get some consolidation and breakthrough here. But I'm going to watch this pink trend line actually as a entry point. So I set my alert on the trend line, and I'm going to watch that level tomorrow. Yep, definitely going to look at Amazon. We'll take a look at AFRM and UPST. That's what Chris likes. So Thomas asked, is there a specific time during the day when you start switching to smaller time frames looking for things like intraday wedges? Look, regarding intraday wedges, probably just in like the mid-afternoon. What's going on, Nick? When I'm trading, I like to day trade and scalp, so I'm really looking at the small time frames anyway. But there's no really specific time. I really just trade on like the 5-minute, 15-minute, and I look at the overall trend on the larger time frame so I could see what the overall trend and the overall pattern is. Right, so you want to take a look at the larger time frame, see what's going on, and then you can narrow in and try and focus on where you're going to enter. Right, so like for this, I would enter probably over that candle, right? Old support turned into a new resistance, right? So once it breaks through here, we're going to test that next level, like the ladder that I mentioned, right? Look for the most common point, and this is probably going to be the next significant point, right? We have an old support turned into a resistance, turned into a resistance, and then turned into a support again, right? So once it breaks this 393.41 level, it's going to break through, and it's going to work its way up to that 396.20 level, right? Just like a ladder. I just realized that I have this all the way to the end of the screen and it looks annoying. But this is what I like on QQQ for the week. SPY kind of looks like a mess. Steep sell-off. I'm just going to delete everything here, redo it, make it cleaner, see what we got here. Right, so obviously we have to draw that line. That's a major area of resistance, which is going to act as a support. This kind of worked out perfect. How this played out, I'll show you. Right, so this is a perfect example of an old level of support. Right, we bounced, held again, kinda. It broke through, rejected it. So this old support turned into a new resistance and then fell down, back down below. Right, it opened up right below this level of support and it ended up dropping. You could have entered right below this level of support, 462.04. You could have entered puts to the downside, and your target would have been the next level of support, which would be this level, and it hit perfectly. So that would have been a great scalp or a day trade. SPY monthly candle. Yeah, I really don't even look at those too often. Yeah, it looks like looks pretty bearish, but kind of similar to this. But this obviously had the COVID news. Any other? I don't really focus too much on the candles. I know a lot of people do, but not my style. So this is what I'm watching though. Right, we're kind of in a weird spot. We either need to reclaim 458.35 or we're going to see 454.05. Let's go over the charts you guys wanted to see first. Because I don't really have that many setups that I like this week. Right, make sure that you guys are being patient. You don't need to rush into any setups. Some weeks and some months we're going to have an unreal amount of trades. We're going to have a ton of trades over and over again. But when the market's a little more choppy, like it is now, you really just need to, be patient. When fake outs happen, do you just use manual stops and not stop losses? Yeah, I always just use manual stops. In the beginning of my trading career, I just use regular ones. But now I'm experienced enough where I don't really need to set it. I could just exit when I feel the setup's invalid. Right? I play the setup, I don't play the P&L. Gotta play the setup. And you gotta size correctly. You can't play the setup without sizing correctly. So that's very important. Check out the ones Chris mentioned. Delete this. So let's take a look at the daily. See what we got. Kind of looks like a little wedge-ish. That's what I like. That one looks way better. Right, it bounced perfectly. It created one low and then it created another low, but higher than this original low, right? So that's definitely bullish. Finally, it's working its way on the upside. Just broke through this level of resistance, right? Was a level of resistance, acted as a support, broke through, pulled back, faked out a little bit here, and then shot right through. So definitely a bullish chart with bullish price action. Next level I think it's going to test is about right here, 142.12, which lines up perfectly with this pink trend line, right? So if we can break around this level, 146.90 is next, has a little gap fill right here. A tiny little gap fill. Decent. UPST. I know Chris likes these setups, but I've never done too well with them. I like the flags. LCID. This kind of looks like a little inverse head and shoulders. Right, we got that. And that. Or cup and handle. I don't like looking at these stocks though. I like looking at the big names, right? These stocks are very volatile. But if it breaks here, 57.75, it's absolutely going to test 64.86. So I'm going to set an alert right before it. That way, if it does break out of this little wedge that it's forming here, I'm also going to set one right here that I'll be notified. Looks pretty good. Like this little setup on the 1 hour, or, you know, it looks good on any time frame, but you guys get what I'm saying. What else do you want to see? Amazon, I know, was brought up a couple times. Okay. So let's take a look at the overall setup first. So here's the daily. Remove all the noise. Very, very choppy, but overall slow uptrend, right? Slow uptrend, but it's very, very choppy. And we have a double top here, right? We rejected here and we rejected here. Oh, if you guys are here, make sure you drop a like. I always forget to say it, and I don't like saying it, but it helps. It does help. I appreciate it. And ask questions. I want you guys to ask questions. I don't want you guys just sitting there watching. I know it's probably so boring, but I want you guys asking questions. If you're here, you want to learn. So ask me questions. But if we go in to the smaller time frame, it kind of looks like we're making like a cup here, right? Right, you get the point. We're kind of forming this cup. We had a double top, and now it looks like we're going to make a flag or something in that nature. But regarding Elliott wave, which is what I'm really looking at here, we had a perfect wave 1, wave 2. We had a perfect wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5. Right, so full 5 wave sequence. After that happens, you have an ABC correction, right? So we had a wave A, wave B, and it looks like we're in a wave C. Wave C's, no, I haven't charted this week yet. Bears are in. Yeah. Wave C's generally go, right? So you take the fib level of wave A. So what I did is I clicked here at the bottom of wave A, and then I dragged it to the top of the high, right? And then I have the 1272, which it's a little tough to see. Make this a little clearer. The 1272 and the 1618 are generally where the wave C's end up, and it looks like it's, you know, on its way there. It lines up perfectly with this previous level of resistance. I'll chart it right now. Right, so this previous resistance lines up perfectly with this previous level of support. So that area just makes sense for Amazon to go to, right around 34.60 in that area. That's where I'm thinking we're heading on Amazon. If we can bounce off this level and hold, then I'll look for a position to the upside. But for now, Amazon, I'm just sitting on the sidelines. And, you know, I just want to, you know, watch what happens here. You don't need to trade everything. So just remember that. Be patient and, you know, don't rush anything. So that's my thoughts on Amazon. Tesla. Tesla, I think, looks great for now. Common area level of resistance, right? We have this pink trend line, multiple touches here, rejected here twice, and this level of support, right? We bounce once, twice, 3 times, and we are at it a 4th time. So if this falls through, we should test this bottom level right here of 1062. Below that, it could get pretty ugly and see some more downside, probably to around this low, about 1000 to 980, right in that region. So be aware of that if this fails. But this can also break out, right? Futures are up a lot. So if this white trend line breaks, I think we'll test 1132. If we break 1132, we should see a move back up to the highs, to 1200. So hopefully futures stay out. Anything can change in the morning, and the COVID news can obviously change anything any second. So just be aware of that this week. And don't oversize at all this week. This is not the week to oversize. Be conservative this week. Can I do tutorials on TradingView? How to use some of the common tools use? More advanced. Yeah, I could totally do that. I mean, these are really the only tools that I use, which is why I have them in my favorites bar. I don't really use anything else. I obviously know how to use everything here. Like any of this, I don't really use. It's kind of irrelevant. Sometimes I use the pitchfork. This pitchfork. These are just shapes. That's just extras. This is for Elliott wave. Fib, no, this isn't fib. This is to determine positions and stuff. Yeah, I could totally go over it. Pretty easy. But watch this for Tesla. Futures are up, and electric vehicles have been hot recently, so definitely watch it. Facebook, I'm definitely watching this week. It's creating a little flag here. Not the cleanest of all flags I've ever seen, but it's one of the nicer setups for this week. It made it onto my watch list. Right, just a little tight flag, multiple levels of support. We are at the bottom here with futures up. This might break. Needs to break over that 341.78 level, which is right here, right? Acted as resistance, was a support, previous resistance, and so on. You guys get the point. It's just a common level of price fluctuation, I guess you could say. Right, take a look at the volume profile. This is the highest. Once it breaks this, it should clear up to around 353, 354. Definitely like Facebook this week. I'm actually going to set my alert right before that breakout level. This is what I do every time. Apple's decent this week. The flag's like kind of iffy. But we did have a perfect cup and handle here. All right, so we had our cup, then we had the handle right here. We had a perfect level of resistance, which broke out perfectly, shot through this previous level of resistance, pulled back, acted as a new support, and then took off, and then did the exact same thing, right? Broke through, pulled back, acted as a new support, and then exceeded right to new highs, 165. And we entered right here. That was an unreal play on Apple. This is when we took those 1217 160 calls when the price was about 152. I think we took it, and it shot up right to our target of 160. Now it's kind of flagging. People are taking their profits, and I'm looking for some continuation this week as we are approaching this previous level of resistance. So I want to see if this level holds. Right, this is a big level. This 157.26. We did close below it, excuse me. But with futures up, this is going to open up above it, and I'm going to look for a new run back to the upside. So we covered Tesla, Facebook, Apple, Amazon. Bitcoin looks bullish. I don't really know. Here's the Bitcoin chart. Here's the daily. Like it does, but it doesn't. Right? I think it still has some more downside to around 52,000 to test this level, and for it to be a wave 2. But we did just have this rising bearish wedge to that old level of resistance, right? We rejected it twice. So I think we do have one more test of 52,000. If we can hold this level, I think we then see that move back to the upside. I'm gonna add this to my watch list just so I don't have to keep going back. AMC definitely watching again. Right, bounced right off the lows perfectly. I thought we were going to have a breakout here, but it rejected again. So that 44 level, definitely keep that on an eye. Not for a while though, right? We're sitting at the lows. Needs over this level, which it closed over. Very, very nice. But this level acted as a support once and then acted as a support again before it was a previous resistance, right? So you see, it's very common. You see the same things over and over again. You always see this old resistance turn into a new support. So you got to keep your eye out for that. And we're testing it again, right? So we're either going to break through and push back up to the upside here, or we're going to reject and come back to the downside. Could it be an ABC down, possible B bounce? It could be. Broker. Totally could be. We just need to wait, right? So Elliott wave, you do predict, but sometimes you need to wait to see, you know, what it's going to be. So in this case, we need to wait a little bit. Shop. Okay, so here's shop. I don't like playing shop. One, the premiums are very expensive. The bid and the ask are very far apart. It's wide spreads. Like they move very quickly, but it's also not good for the common trader. It's definitely not a good stock or option to play for the common person, the average person. But there's really, you know, no good setup here. Nothing that I see. Let me delete everything so I can get a fresh view. You know, I don't really see anything too special. Yeah, nothing really too special on here. Coin looks good. So here's my watch list. Coin, right? Very extended wedge. We have our flagpole, and then we have the wedge, and we're sitting right here at the support level. So it needs to hold here and push for a move back to the upside. I'm going to actually put my alert down here. Facebook, we looked at UPS. This is what I'm looking at on UPS, right? We have a common level of support, common level of resistance, right? We need to break over this white trend line. I'm going to add an alert. I'm going to extend it just in case. But it's sitting right at this level of support. I really have no setups this week that I'm looking at for tomorrow. Like I'm thinking right now, like I mean, Tesla, I'm definitely looking at tomorrow. Apple, I'm definitely looking at. So that's 2. Yeah, this one I'm looking at. That's 3. Not watching Amazon tomorrow. Coin looks pretty good, but it's too many to look at once. Facebook. All right, so I changed my mind. I have about 3 or 4 that I'm going to look at. Also, so you guys got to keep an eye on snow. I know Seablast used to play this all the time. Been in a pretty massive uptrend. But again, right, we bounced once, we bounced twice, and then we just bounced again right off this trend line. So that was like a perfect move. You know, really it should be here, but can make it work. And it just broke right above that previous level of resistance, right? So nice strong candle, and a push through. But I'm not going to watch this tomorrow because it's really not too good of a setup. But just watching Tesla, Apple, AMC, and Facebook. So 4 setups tomorrow that I'm watching. Spotify. I haven't looked at this in a while, and look what happened. I haven't looked at this probably in a few weeks, and I literally have it drawn. Wow. Love seeing when that happens, right? So we have this old level of resistance. It broke through finally here, and then it shot through, tested this previous level of resistance, right? It rejected here, here, and then twice again here. And then it did the exact same thing, right? It broke through and then it ended up falling through again, right? And then this old level of resistance is now acting as a new support, which lines up perfectly from this low to this high, right in the golden zone of a 0.5 and a 618 fib level. This is the buy zone here if you want to go long. Pretty good risk to reward, right? You would exit below the low of 237, and the target is about 300. All right, so you're risking $13 to make about 50. Pretty good risk to reward. I like this though. Looks pretty good. IWM we looked at already. Here's the chart. It's kind of in no man's land, right? It just broke this wedge, just broke this trend line that was holding pretty nicely. This one we need to wait a little bit because we've been in about a year of consolidation, and it recently broke out of it, and then it just pulled back inside of it. So we're stuck. IWM is stuck. Pool. I know, William, you asked me this last week and the week before. It's been going. If I miss one of the tickers that you recommend, that's not intentional. I'm sorry. But I'll get to all of them. I mean, this is as bullish as it gets, right? Bottom left corner to the top right. Very strong. Almost no dips, right? There's no pattern here. But yeah, great looking chart. NVIDIA, I know someone asked about that earlier. What a move NVIDIA had. From about 200 to about 350 from October to November in a month. Wow. Incredible. But this one is looking nice. Right, this old level of resistance is acting as a support. And we kind of got a little flag going here for now. All right, we got a little A, B, potential C down here. Delete that and delete that. No problem, Brandon. Filling gaps. A gap is like, I know Amazon had a huge one. Like this. This was an earnings gap, but it's when there's a gap in the chart, right? So something overnight affects the price, causing it to move a significant amount. So for example, on this one, your entry point, right, after a big gap would be that previous candle, or the next candle, excuse me. So in this case, you would enter at the break. For example, this one failed, but that made it even stronger on this next move, right? So it rejected there at 3391. Once it tested again, it shot through, and the next level it generally tests is that previous level of that gap, which is right around here. Here it ended up a little early, but you could see once it broke this gap, it went on a nice little run. So that's just a very general example, kind of a bad example. Let's see if there's another. Here's another one. Right, so we had a little gap here. I'm actually going to use 2 green lines. Right, so we had a gap in the charts. This is the level that it broke through, right? So you'd enter here, and your price target would be 274.35. Let's take a look at the smaller time frame. So here you would enter at the break. It almost hit it. It pulled back, acted as this double support now, and then you could have entered again, and your price target still would have been there, and it worked. That's basically a very brief example of how gaps work. What was I on, NVIDIA? So I do like this chart, but I think it needs some more time before the risk to reward is worth the trade. I'm going to wait for it to test around this level. Walmart. Yeah, Walmart had a huge, like, triple top. Well, recently a double top, right? So rejected. This is like a perfect fib level play. Just play the fibs on this one. All right, so it rejected the 236 perfectly, and now it just fell below 382. So probably pretty likely that the 0.5 is going to hit next. Right, as we're starting to, right, we had a double top, right? So that's a bearish signal. We had a lower high, right? Bearish signal, and we rejected the 236. So possible that it's going to test the 0.5. Here's Zoom. Only way Zoom gets back up is if the not the vaccine, the new variant gets stronger. Because I can't see Zoom, doing well. People are starting to go back to the office. So if people are going back to the office, Zoom's losing business. And I know I don't really play fundamentals, but I just can't ignore that this is, no one's using the product anymore. I know schools and workplaces use Zoom, but people are going back to the office. So, and it's an overall downtrend, so you can't fight the trend. How do I get my fibs like that? Like what? To extend all the way, you just click extend lines to the right, and then you can also extend them to the left. Sick or hungover? Both. More sick than hungover, but yeah. I definitely have a cold, which you could tell, but it's finally going away. I've had it for the past week. You can change the colors on the individual levels as well. You could do anything. You could change the background color. You could reverse them. There's a ton you could do. I didn't draw them on Walmart. What do you mean? Yeah, I did. I did it from the low to the high. Just drew it from this low to this high. Nick. Yeah, that was a nice break. I didn't trade Thursday, or Thursday the market was closed, but Wednesday I didn't really trade. And then Thursday market was closed, and Friday I didn't trade. Golden zone is just between the 0.5 and the 618. Right. So for example, this one worked perfectly. There's like a 70% chance that I actually have a PDF in the Discord that covers this. I'll pull it up. Where the hell is it? Somewhere in here. Here. On 220, I created this PDF, Elliott Wave cheat sheet. Let me pull it up for you guys. Here. So I just downloaded it. Whoops. Okay. Here it is, Elliott Wave cheat sheet. I made this a while ago, so it's a little outdated. But it covers just the basics of Elliott Wave. I created, there's links, right? So if you click this, it brings you to Elliott Wave International. This is like their website. And then here's my other favorite one. This covers like a bunch of charts and stuff, going over everything Elliott Wave. This one's a really good learning tool. Just click here. Here's videos I included, right? Elliott Wave theory, my favorite pattern, a little background, history, principles, the waves. Here's what the structure looks like. And this is what I would like print out. I have this literally next to me still to this day. I use it. There is a 70% chance for wave 2, right? 70% probability for the price to reverse between the 382 and the 618. So if we go back to the chart, between the 382 and the 618, so take that off. So a 70% chance that price, where's my little bar? Oh, my screen is in, that price is going to reverse in this area right here, right? So from the low to the high, these fibs are automatically drawn, and there's a 70% chance that price will reverse in this region. And the golden zone is between the 0.5 and the 618. The golden zone is like, just an Elliott wave favorite, right? So most likely it's going to reverse in the 0.5 or 618, but probability wise, it's between the 382 and the 618. The link on the live chat, it's just in the Discord. Under market resources. So definitely use this a lot. And then a wave 4, 70% chance in between that level. It basically gives you everything. And here's the guidelines of how to draw them. Here's a bunch of cheat sheets. Wave 4. I put this together a long time ago. It literally tells you everything. Like, I would definitely use this if you don't know any of this already. This is typically a wave 5. This is a rising bearish wedge, right? So, and this is exactly what Bitcoin looked like. Which I was able to predict that pretty easily. This is complicated. I wouldn't focus on that. This is like what we use on the everyday basis of trading, right? A, B, C, D, E correction. It shows you the fib levels on this, like the C wave, the D wave, the E wave, and everything. Right, the C wave and the D wave, the C wave and the E wave go to the 618 almost every single time. Here's even more. You could download it. It's a whole PDF that I made. So go ahead and download it. It's in the Discord. In market resources. I'll post it again. All right, so I just posted it in market resources again. So go check it out. But yeah. What other questions did you guys ask? Yes, I always use the fib extension tool. That's how I measure my price targets. But here's Bitcoin, right? Here's a rising bearish wedge. This is like what we just looked at. And here it is again, right? This is back in March. This was like a perfectly indicated A, B, C, D, E breakthrough, retest of old support turned into a new resistance, and then came back down to the downside, which is doing the exact same thing again. Any other questions that you guys have? If you haven't dropped a like already, please do. And I do have so many videos on my YouTube channel as well. Like I know a lot of people ask me questions on in the Discord to like make videos on. But if you just scroll down, like I haven't made a video in a bit. I've just been streaming every week. But like I have all these videos at the bottom. 7 secrets. This is an amazing video that I put together. Um, right, how to use the fibs. These are just videos I made to get views on AMC. Unusual options activity. How to create your own strategy. My favorite pattern, Elliott wave. How to, like a stock screener. These videos are kind of because they were my first couple of videos. But yeah, go through it. You gotta learn somehow, right? Now I've just been streaming. I've been focused more on streaming. It's like way easier to connect with you guys as opposed to editing videos. We updated our website too. Looks pretty good. If you guys have any suggestions or anything, let us know. I mean, we're all about the customer. So anything you guys, wanna do, we're obviously open to it. Yeah, no problem. I stream for you guys. I don't need a stream. I don't. But here's the dashboard. Analyst ratings, right? I look at this every morning. Upgrades, downgrades, initiations, technical analysis page. I think we're going to be making updates to this. Double bottom on Tesla. It gives you like the entry price, take profit level, and the stop loss. Does it alert? Not yet, but we're trying to implement it right now. Analytics page. This one's awesome. Right? This is super cool. Not everything's perfect at, right? Like the people who've been here from the beginning have seen all the improvements that we've made. But it's a slow grind, right? We're trying to improve this as much as possible, slowly but surely. I like this. It shows you the overall call to put ratio in a very simple and easy chart to read. Just realized this isn't updating. It's staying at 813 to 187. C Blast, are you still here? This isn't updating. And then we have the news page, right? This page is obviously a work in progress still. News page, and then the chart. Can I show you flow? Do you not have the dashboard? Here's AMC for March. Yeah, just go like this. And then you could search it. And then here's all the flow. And then you could filter it out, right? Out of the money calls. Whoops. Guess that doesn't want to. You can do whatever you want. You can see all the big trades. Here are all the big call sweeps that people took. Like, look at all these massive sweeps. Crazy. But back to the charts. Agree. I remember this name. Save filters, not yet. But we're making a priority too. I know I want that too because I always go back and I lose my filter and I have to redo it. So it's pretty annoying, but we're working on it. This bearish, I wouldn't even look at it. Right, just broke the low of around 1950, whatever this is. 1950 exactly. Just broke that. Needs back over. Look at the overall chart. Pretty bad. I know it has like a high short float, if I remember correct. I wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't touch it. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it a night there. It's been an hour. Um, if you have any questions or anything, ping me in the Discord, and I'll be more than happy to answer. I'm gonna try and get some sleep. Hopefully, I'll feel better tomorrow. And let's have a killer week. Patience pays. Just remember that. Any last questions? If you have any last questions, let me know. Awesome. Have a good night, guys. I'll speak to you later.